as a solo business coach, gained 15 hours a week and increased billable time by 40% with just $20 a month in AI tools. The secret? She stopped asking AI to work faster and started using it to think smarter. I'm Allyson, author of The AI Business Accelerator, and you're about to discover the strategic AI advantage that's transforming businesses like yours. Today, we're exploring beyond the hype of the AI business revolution to talk about the evolution that's happening right now. Come join me.
Welcome to the Leverage Business Podcast, where we believe business success is about working smarter, not harder, leveraging your time and expertise in ways that fit the digital age you and your clients live in today. I'm your host, Allyson, author of Leverage Consulting in the Digital Age and founder of the iSuccess Business Academy. And every episode, I'll be sharing insights into how you can apply the power of leverage to grow your consulting, coaching, or other expert services business and create true freedom and independent success with mindset, marketing, and money model breakthroughs. Because when you get leveraged, the sky's the limit. Let's go for it.
Welcome to the Leverage Business Podcast. I'm your host, Allyson, and after a short break, we're kicking off Series 3 of our 5th year of the show, helping consultants, coaches, and business owners create more leverage in their business to work smarter, earn more, and achieve sustainable growth. For those joining us for the first time, and I know that we have many new listeners curious about AI, let me quickly explain what we mean by leverage. Leverage is about multiplying your results without multiplying your effort. It's the art and science of designing a business that works for you by aligning your strategy, systems, and strengths to create greater impact and income without burning out. It's both a mindset and a methodology, a shift from doing all the things to doing the right things well. From hustle to intentional growth. In practice, leverage shows up through clear positioning that attracts ideal clients, scalable offers that serve at different levels, content and systems that build trust while you sleep, strategic use of tools and technology, including AI, to streamline delivery and marketing and customer service, thought leadership that expands your reach without chasing visibility. Whether you're a solo consultant, coach, or running a small firm, leverage is what lets you create sustainable success, more spaciousness in your life, and a business model that's both profitable and purposeful. Over the past 4 years, we've explored all kinds of strategies for creating leverage, from scalable service models to marketing automation to organization and self-care. Last year, we zoomed in on entrepreneurial resilience, a vital part of what I call the leverage business success dimensions. That journey became the foundation for my book, Rising Resilient, due out later this summer. And it's packed with insights from the women that I interviewed to help you sustain your focus, energy, and joy as you build a business and life that truly align. But today, we're diving back into strategic growth and specifically into a tool that's dramatically changing how we create leverage. I'm talking, of course, about artificial intelligence. Why focus on AI? Well, after spending most of last year researching and writing the AI Business Accelerator, which hit bestseller lists when it was published in January, I've seen firsthand how AI is transforming not just how we work, but how we scale our expertise, how we serve clients more effectively, and how we build more sustainable business models around what we do best. Now, this isn't just about jumping on hype. It's not just about doing things faster or productivity, although there's a lot to be gained. It's also about doing better work, smarter work, more quality and impactful work. It's about using AI as a thought partner, not just a tool, and weaving it into the way we think, decide, and deliver what we do. So, in this episode of Series 3, we're going to take a big picture view of where AI is today, how it creates real world leverage, and how you, as a consultant, coach, or creative business owner, can start using it strategically to grow. So, let's dive in. The first section that I want to talk about is just to get everyone on the same page, understanding the current AI landscape. I'd like to paint a picture of where we are in the AI revolution. When ChatGPT launched at the end of 2022, it reached 100 million users in just 60 days. Now, that's faster than any technology platform in history, faster than Facebook, faster than Instagram, TikTok, you name it. And yet, while it may have felt like AI burst onto the scene overnight, the truth is we've been building towards this moment for years. What's different now is the accessibility and sophistication of these tools, particularly generative AI, which has democratized access to powerful capabilities that were once the domain of tech giants. Let me give you a real-world example. I was working with a small consulting firm last year, helping them streamline their operations. Now, they were spending hours each week writing proposals, creating client reports, and developing training materials. When we first started discussing AI, they were skeptical. We're too small for AI, they said. That's for big companies with big budgets. Fast forward 6 months, and they're using AI tools to handle about 70% of their document creation work. Their proposal writing time has dropped from an average of 6 hours to just 2 hours per proposal. And the quality is actually improved because they're spending more time on strategy and less on routine writing tasks. But this brings me to an important distinction I want to make about AI and how it creates leverage. We really have two types of AI working together to transform business operations. First, there is traditional AI, which creates leverage through automation and analysis. And this isn't just about basic task automation. We're talking about processing vast amounts of data, identifying complex patterns, and making predictions faster than any human team could manage. For example, one of my enterprise clients uses AI to analyze customer support tickets across their entire business. The AI doesn't just categorize issues, it identifies trending problems before they become major issues. It predicts seasonal support needs. It even suggests proactive communications to prevent common problems. This kind of analysis would take a team of people weeks to do manually, but their AI system does it in real time, 24/7, and it's given them enormous predictive insights and that they can plan for that normally would have been on the back burner just because it takes so long to implement and to do. So then we have the second category, which is generative AI, tools like ChatGPT that most of us have heard of, if not using already. And these create leverage through rapid content creation and scaling of knowledge work. But here's what's crucial to understand. It's not about replacing human creativity. It's about augmenting it in ways that create exponential returns on your time and expertise. Let me share a recent example from a marketing agency I used to work with. They used to spend about 20 hours per week creating social media content for each client. Now they use AI to handle the initial research, content generation, and basic optimization. But here's the key. They didn't just automate everything. Instead, they restructured their entire workflow around what I call the AI-human hybrid system. Their AI tools now handle initial market research and trend analysis, first drafts of content, basic SEO optimization, creation of content variations, and performance analytics. This frees up their creative team to focus on strategic planning, brand voice refinement, creative direction, client relationships, and high-level content strategy. So even if you're a solopreneur, this is basically freeing you up to do your highest value work. The results, they've reduced their per-client content creation time to 7 hours a week, while actually improving quality and engagement metrics. They now serve 3 times as many clients with the same team, and their profit margins have increased by 40%. But what's happening underneath that transformation is even more interesting. They've moved from a linear workflow to what I call a flywheel system, where AI output feeds insights into content strategy, which feeds performance data back into offer development, creating a continuous cycle of improvement. It's not just faster, it's fundamentally smarter. So the second segment that I want to talk about is the strategic art of AI prompting. Because here's the part most people miss. The real leverage comes not just from the tool and churning out content, but from how you communicate with it. I work with tens, if not hundreds of clients on building prompt workflows, not just for AI, but in the past for outsourcing to assistants that help them break down messy ideas into structured lead magnets, repurposing transcripts into blog articles and social posts, mapping out onboarding sequences in half the time, and even creating role play scenarios to rehearse sales conversations. So it's not about asking ChatGPT for a blog post on my topic X. It's about structuring the request in a way that leverages the AI's capabilities while maintaining your unique voice and strategic direction. That's why I developed what I call the iSuccess 5D prompt framework: define, decide, design, develop, and double check. This framework helps you give the AI clear role context, tone, and structure, and guide it step by step from idea to implementation. Let me walk you through how this works in practice. Recently, I was helping a business coach who was struggling to create consistent content for her newsletter. She'd been asking AI to write a newsletter about productivity, and she was getting some generic, very uninspiring results from that. Now, using the 5D framework, we transformed her approach. First, we defined the context. You're writing for ambitious entrepreneurs who struggle with overwhelm and want practical, actionable advice they can implement immediately. Then we decided on the role and tone. Write as an experienced business coach who combines empathy with direct, no-nonsense guidance. Obviously, you can build these prompts out with a lot more context than this, but this is just for illustration. For the design step, we structured the output. Create a newsletter with a compelling subject line, a brief story that illustrates the problem, 3 specific strategies with implementation steps, and a clear call to action. The develop phase involved iterating on the output, asking for revisions, and making refinements. Finally, double check, the 5th D, ensured the content aligned with her brand voice and business goals. The difference was remarkable, and indeed there were several iterations before we got the process working really well. Instead of generic content, she was getting newsletters that sounded like her, addressed her audience's specific challenges, and generated significantly higher engagement rates. What used to take her 3 to 4 hours of writing time and agonizing time now takes her about 45 minutes, and I'm sure she can reduce it further once the process is really dialed in. But the quality is consistently higher because she's spending her time on strategic thinking rather than staring at a blank page. The better your prompt, the higher your leverage. This isn't just about efficiency. It's about creating a new form of strategic delegation where you're partnering with the AI to amplify your expertise rather than replace it. And this is good news, I think, to a lot of people who think that what they do in their business may well be outsourced to AI, but really it's how you're working in collaboration. So the third section here is about implementation strategies across business sizes. Because you might be wondering, that's great for agencies and firms of consulting or coaching, but how does this apply to my specific business if I'm small? So let me break this down by business size and type, because I've seen successful AI implementation across the whole spectrum. For solopreneurs and small teams of, say, 1 to 5 people, start with the tools that create immediate personal leverage. Another client of mine, a solo business coach, uses AI to create first drafts of blog posts and newsletters, generate personalized follow-up emails, and analyze session transcripts for insights, and developing tailored coaching tools for herself and if she were to grow a team. She invested about £200 in AI tools and spent 2 weeks learning to prompt effectively. Now, that last bit is super important. The result is she's gained 15 hours a week and increased her billable client time by 40%. But here's what's interesting about her approach. She didn't try to automate everything at once. She started to play and then started with one area where she felt the most friction in her business, client follow-up emails. Now, these were taking her about 20 minutes each, and I know there are other people that really agonize over it for hours. And she was sending 15 to 20 of these per week. Now, using AI to generate the personalized first drafts based on session notes, she cut this down to about 3 minutes per email, while actually improving the quality and the relevance of her communications with the client. The success in that one area gave her confidence to expand into other applications, and now she's using AI to help analyze patterns in her client conversations, identify common challenges that could become new service offerings, and even help her prepare for difficult coaching conversations by role-playing different scenarios. For mid-sized businesses, the focus should be really on workflow augmentation rather than replacement. A professional services firm I work with implemented AI in 3 phases, and each phase delivered both time savings and improved profitability. The total cost was less than the salary of 1 additional employee, but the leverage gained was equivalent to adding 3 to 4 new team members. In phase 1, they automated document processing and basic client communication. This freed up about 10 hours per week across the team. Now, in phase 2, they implemented AI-enhanced research and analysis tools, which not only saved time, but improved the quality of their client deliverables. Phase 3 involved predictive analytics, as I mentioned earlier, for resource allocation and advanced client insights, and this helped them proactively identify opportunities and challenges. This is a key way for managing your risk and really responding to the changes in the market and the risk environment. The key insight here is that AI implementation isn't just about efficiency. It's about designing new workflows that multiply your capacity while protecting and enhancing quality. This firm didn't just get faster, they got smarter about how they serve clients and how they grow their business. Our next section is around building your AI-ready team. And here's where a lot of businesses hit a wall, I think, because it's not the technology that's the challenge, it's the human element. I've seen companies that invest thousands in AI tools only to see them sit unused because no one knew how to integrate them into their daily work. It's not enough to have the software. You need buy-in, you need capability, and you need clarity across your team. You need leadership. Now, one 15-person consulting firm I supported had all the tools in place: proposal writers, CRM integrations, analytics dashboards, but the usage was almost nil. The problem wasn't resistance to change. It was actually uncertainty about how to use these tools effectively. So we implemented a structured rollout that I now use with all my clients. First, we conducted what I call a prompt confidence audit to see who was comfortable with different aspects of AI interaction. Then, interestingly, we found that the youngest team members weren't automatically the most AI savvy. Some of the most experienced consultants adapted more quickly because they understood the underlying business processes better. Then we created tiered training sessions from AI basics to strategic prompt design. But the real breakthrough came when we established AI champions for each department. These weren't necessarily the most tech-savvy people, but rather the ones who were most curious and willing to experiment. They tested use cases, shared results, and became internal advocates for good practice in AI adoption. Within 90 days, usage shot up across the board. Proposal turnaround dropped from 3 days to 6 hours. Internal updates got streamlined. Client research became more thorough and faster. But most importantly, the team started seeing AI not as a threat to their expertise or their jobs, but as a co-pilot that amplified their capabilities. A key lesson here is that AI adoption has to feel empowering, not overwhelming or worrying. When people understand how these tools can make their work more interesting and impactful, rather than just more efficient, adoption happens naturally. People get excited. Our fifth section is about navigating ethics and risk management, touched on earlier. Of course, with great power comes great responsibility, and AI can go wrong quickly if you don't have the right guardrails in place. So let me share a story that illustrates why this matters. A financial services client I worked with started using AI to draft onboarding emails. Sounds simple enough, right? But one phrase in an AI-generated email implied a guarantee about investment returns, something that's strictly off limits in their industry. Now, fortunately, they caught it before it went out. But it was a wake-up call that AI doesn't get it right all of the time, and sometimes it fabricates, and sometimes it just gets inaccurate facts put in or makes up statistics. So you really need to be watchful of that. The landscape's evolving all the time, and I'm sure AI will improve, but at the moment, that's where we're at. So that wake-up call led us to create what I call a lightweight, but actually fairly comprehensive AI ethics policy. And this policy covers data privacy and encryption standards, transparent use and client consent protocols, human in-the-loop quality review processes, absolutely critical, and alignment with regulatory frameworks if those exist in your industry. And you don't need a legal department to implement these safeguards effectively. You just need awareness, intention, and a commitment to trust and integrity as you scale. So nothing new there just because of AI. I mean, this is what we do all of the time. But sometimes sense goes out the window when you have a tool that kind of does a whole thing for you. You still need to check it. The framework we developed includes 3 key components. First, proactive risk assessment. Before implementing any AI tool, we map out potential risks and put safeguards in place. Second, ongoing monitoring, regular checks to ensure AI outputs meet quality and compliance standards. And third, transparent communication, being clear with clients and stakeholders about how and when AI is being used. One of the interesting things here is that this isn't something that you would want to give ownership only to the IT department or an IT developer if you have one working in your business. It's actually more of an HR, more a culture change, more of a customer service, customer experience type of area. So although it falls within risk assurance, if you like, it actually involves people across functional teams. And that's a big part of the consulting work that we do, is we work very much across processes that involve different departments. One of the most important aspects of ethical AI use is maintaining human oversight and accountability. Now, AI should augment human decision-making, not replace it entirely. This means having clear protocols for when human review is required and ensuring that AI recommendations are always subject to human judgment, especially for high-stakes decisions. And the people doing those reviews and making those judgments need to be expert enough to be able to do that. Our next segment is around future trends and strategic preparation. All of the detail about AI you get in my book, The AI Business Accelerator. It talks about the evolution as well as the revolution of AI in business. And because the pace of change is accelerating, those who position themselves strategically will have significant advantages. Here are 3 trends I think every entrepreneur should have on their radar. First, hyper personalization and scale. We're moving beyond basic personalization, like using someone's name in an email, to create truly individualized experiences for thousands of customers simultaneously. Now, AI is making it possible to tailor entire customer journeys based on individual preferences, behaviors, and needs. It's really exciting. And I'm working with a retail client. I don't generally work with the retail industry, but they're testing an AI system that creates individual shopping experiences for each customer. There's a lot of ideas in there that can come into service-based businesses. It doesn't just recommend products, it adjusts pricing, promotions, and even website layout in real time based on individual behavior patterns. The early results are remarkable. 45% increase in conversion rates and 30% increase in average order value. Pretty huge, right? Second, autonomous decision-making systems. Now, that might sound a bit scary, but what we're seeing is tools that can act, not just advise. I think CRMs that automatically route leads based on fit scores, or analytics dashboards that trigger specific actions when certain conditions are met. A logistics company that one of my partners works with has implemented AI that makes real-time routing decisions for their delivery fleet, considering traffic, weather, delivery priorities, and driver schedules. The system makes thousands of optimization decisions daily without human intervention, reducing delivery times by 25% and fuel costs by 18%. Third, AI ecosystems, where multiple tools talk to each other seamlessly. Now, the future isn't about having one AI tool, it's about having AI orchestrate your entire business ecosystem. Imagine AI managing your calendar, your CRM, your project tracker, and your content studio in coordination, creating a truly integrated business operating system. The opportunity here is massive, and those who approach it strategically, not reactively, will come out miles ahead. The key is to start building these capabilities now, even if you're starting small with one tiny step. The businesses that thrive in the AI augmented future are going to be those that begin developing AI literacy and integration of skills today. So let's wrap up and bring it back to you. Where in your business could you use more leverage? Where are you stuck in high effort, low impact work? Where could AI become a collaborator rather than just a shortcut? The transformation we're seeing isn't just about technology. It's about reimagining what's possible when human creativity and strategic thinking are amplified by AI capabilities. It's about building businesses that are more resilient, more scalable, and more aligned with the work that energizes you most. To help you start that journey, I've created a comprehensive AI implementation toolkit. It's available free at jallison.com/books, the AI Business Accelerator, with hyphens in between the words. This includes prompt template libraries, implementation checklists, ROI calculators, and a step-by-step guide for building your own custom AI workflows. So if you go to the show notes for this episode, you'll be able to find the link there just to make sure you get to the right place. There's a whole lot of free stuff there for the book. In this series, we're diving deep into how to use AI in your marketing and lead generation. And I'll soon be joined by a special guest, Joe Lapine, author of international bestseller, AI Resilient: How Freelancers and Entrepreneurs Can Thrive, Charge More, and Stay Irreplaceable in the Age of AI. And we'll be exploring how AI is reshaping client expectations, how to position your services for premium pricing, and how to stay one step ahead as the landscape continues evolving. It's a powerful, practical conversation, and you won't want to miss it. Remember, the goal isn't to replace human expertise with AI. It's to amplify what makes you uniquely valuable while systematically removing the friction that keeps you from operating at your highest level. That's true leverage. So until next time, Stay smart, stay strategic, and stay leveraged. Ciao, ciao for now.
Thank you for listening to the Leverage Business Podcast. Want to create leverage in your business? Did this episode provide some insights and ideas to be thinking through? If so, subscribe so you get alerts when the next one's released. If you want to learn more or would like help and support with building a leveraged business that achieves true freedom for you, then head over to jallison.com/podcast to find all the resources and links that go with this show on my website and to join our iSuccess community. And if you're enjoying our content, it would be great if you could pop into Apple Podcasts or the app you listen from and leave me a rating and review. Everyone makes a difference to improving our rankings. So thank you if you've done that already. I appreciate you. So hey, that's it. Thank you for listening. I hope you've loved this episode and have some great takeaways to be thinking through. I wish you a pleasant, productive and profitable week, and I'll see you again next time for another episode of the Leverage Business Podcast.